So, Avengers Endgame might have been the most epic movie this year so far, until, but right now, it's the most epic movie so far. So, this movie was a lot of movie, it was crazy. So, this movie was a lot of movie, it's crazy. So, this movie was a lot of movie, it's crazy. So, 4 random things I'm covering throughout this review: trilogies, hair, dumb MCU memes, and Super Sentai for one episode of Go Under. We'll find out throughout the review. But first, let's talk about trilogies. So, Endgame is a perfect conclusion to, I guess, a Captain America trilogy. What do I mean by that? Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers Endgame. Not just Captain America, but Iron Man and Thor. So for Iron Man, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. For Thor, Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame. Let's talk about what I said first, Captain America. The first Captain America throughout Civil War, people say, it's about one of the best trilogies since The Dark Knight. It's technically not a trilogy, because there's stuff that happens in between Captain America's story. Avengers, so Captain America, then Avengers, and then without this, I guess, start without Avengers, Captain America wouldn't be in this scenario in The Winter Soldier. I guess you could say The Winter Soldier is the very start, even though it introduces Bucky. I bet the general audience watched the first Avengers before any of the other Marvel movies, unless you was into all this stuff. So you do see a more of an arc from the Winter Soldier to Endgame with the Captain America character. Also, you see a better arc with Iron Man from Civil War to Endgame with that character. And with Thor had better development in Marvel Phase 3, Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame. None of the other Marvel movies did any justice to his character. He never really learned anything until Ragnarok, so it's definitely the better Thor trilogy. And also the better Iron Man trilogy. The better Captain America trilogy. So the second random thing I'm going to talk about is hair. I don't like anyone's haircut in this movie, except for Captain America. But I don't like Thor's hair. I don't like Captain Marvel's new haircut. I didn't want her to get a haircut at all. I knew she had a haircut, but I just didn't like it. She also looks like Captain Marvel in this movie looks like Shailene Woodley from the Divergent movies, and Thor looks like a hobo. And then Black Widow has it or not throughout the whole movie. No one has long, luscious, beautiful hair. I know that's a weird thing to say, but hair is Sabo. I know Carol and Natasha have long hair for the first part of the movie, but not throughout the movie. And then Natasha dies. She doesn't have long hair anymore. Just dead. She reminds me of Katniss. All those teen drama movies. But she doesn't have a boat. I don't know Shailene Woodley's character from Divergent, but I watched Hunger Games, so I know that. The beginning of the movie is just dreadful. Hawkeye's family just dies in front of him, or gets dusted in front of him. It's kind of sad how they just really done it. It's not right in front of him. He doesn't know what's happening. It really is just dreadful. To remind us that fateful thing that happened in Infinity War. Next, we see Tony and Nebula survive on the Guardian's ship. Tony's fixing it, doing some engineering work on it. He's also running out of food, which we saw from the trailer. But then Captain Marvel saves them. She's not useless after all. She saves Tony Stark for him to make all the stuff that he needs to make for the movie to save everyone else. If she didn't save him, then there would be no movie. While they're back on Avengers base, Tony and Sue do some more arguing about you weren't there when we needed you. And they bring up some old stuff like Shield around the Earth from Age of Ultron. Just casual back and forth how they usually do, but it's kind of different because Captain America wasn't there this time to help. I don't know if he would have done anything different if he was there. Even if he did sign a contract, Thanos still came. Would they still defeat him? Probably not. Because he's a giant purple man and they don't know what the Infinity Stones do, so they might overpower them. Even if they all went together in space from the first start. Because he's this giant purple man with stones and power. So Tony collapses after his argument, and then they want to find Thanos, and Nebula knows what Thanos is. He always told her about the garden. That's his retirement plan, I guess. Rocket did some scanning about energy waves. They found another planet that had another energy wave similar to the Snap 2 days ago. So they go to that planet. Also, they address why Captain Marvel's not there. She's off somewhere else doing hero work on other planets. They don't have the Avengers everywhere, so she got to do it herself. So they go to his planet, and he doesn't have the stones anymore. He destroyed them. He used the stones to destroy the stones. And then Thor kills Thanos. He's dead. What's the movie going to be about? What's happening here? Like, is that just to trick us? Is this a what's it going to be about? Why did, in that third trailer, show him? I was like, really? So they can't undo it now. You destroy the stones, and then, when this part first happened, I thought, this is very quick. Like, it's just very quick. There's like a lot of other things that, like, you saw throughout the trailer. What's going to happen? Like, what's this movie about? The trailers gave no information about what's happening. Okay. See what happens from there. And then, 5 years later, post-apocalypse movie, there are other things that are very eerie looking, and it's just so dreadful, like, seeing this. It is a post-apocalyptic world, in a way, without no zombies or Planet of the Apes. So Kat runs a therapy group for people who lost their loved ones during the snap. And you see one of the Russo brothers making his daily cameo. He wasn't in the last one, actually. Or his brother was not in. Because I remember seeing, like, a set photo of him, like, his brother, the one with the glasses, but I saw him dressed up as a priest and holding a mirror there, Thor's hammer. So I was expecting him to have a cameo, so I guess it's footage that they never used before, possibly. Yeah, I wish he had a cameo in one of the movies, but it's always the other one. I like that Captain America is helping out people in this kind of way instead of, like, fighting people. He lost people from his life more than once. It's his job to help other people as well. So a rat gets got out of Quantum Realm. I didn't even notice this because people were posting memes about the rats, and I didn't know what it was. Looking up some switches randomly, getting Scott out of Quantum Realm, it just flew past me. When I saw Scott Lang again, I just was excited because I like Paul Rudd. I think he's really funny, but it just flew over me. I thought it felt like a very minor thing, and didn't really care about it. Whatever. Whatever. It's a silly comic book movie, so who cares about this rat thing? Anyway, this feels like it would happen in like a cartoon or a comic book, whatever. It's very silly to actually have. It's kind of cheap. So Scott's out of Quantum Realm. He doesn't know what's happening. He's been gone for 5 years. He sees all his wanted posters. He sees like this monument of the stop fallen victims of the snap, and he sees his name, and he thinks that his daughter's gone too, and he goes and checks her, and she's older now. It's a little heartwarming moment in the beginning of the movie, but he did miss her years of growing up. So Scott goes to the Avengers base, explains everything that what happened. The Quantum Realm is different from their reality. His 5 years was more like 5 hours. Janet Van Dyne did explain that if you get in a time zone warp, you might go forward or you might not go forward, or you might get stuck in there. That's probably what happened. He got stuck in a time warp vortex. Well, she didn't. That's how she was able to age, so it's a bit different. In that world, that weird world, Nat and Rogers got an idea to, like, what if we can use this to go back to the past? So they go to Tony, and Tony has his new life, and he doesn't really want to do this anymore. So he moved on from the snap, but no one else didn't. And I really do like his daughter Morgan Stark. She's really cute. She's the heart of the movie. I love you 3000. So since Tony doesn't want to do it now, you need a bigger brain. And my god, the Professor Hulk thing was very jarring. I don't know why I was so jarring by it. It was just like strange to me. It blew my mind. I don't know why. Maybe because it really does look like Mark Ruffalo this time around. I think that's why. Or maybe because he was wearing shirts. I don't know. The previous movies, the Hulk does look like Mark Ruffalo a little bit, but I just got bizarred out by it. But he decides to help them, and like he's really unsure about what they're gonna do with it. First time trying to do something like this, so they do it. But they end up moving time through Lang instead of time traveling with Lang. He's old, he's young, younger, and then he's back to the same age. It's very silly. It's not time travel. Meanwhile, Tony, he can't stop thinking about things. So he tries to find out the solution to time travel, and he did, because he's the bigger brain. So he decides to help them and give Cap his shield back. Yeah! Now they have to reassemble the Avengers again. So, Fat Thor. Yeah, this one's sad. I thought Fat Thor was going to be funny, but then I realized the things that he said about Thanos, no. It comes off as funny, but it's really tragic, because since he didn't aim for the head, he had his own selfless needs to talk Thanos just a few more minutes or seconds, talk to his opponents before he kills them, got in the way. You should just end it right there. Just go for everything. Don't say last minute words and say,
I told you. You die for that.
Just say it after you kill him. Don't say it. Just say it after you kill him next time. Or whoever you fight in Guardians 3 or Avengers 5. But you should just aim for the head or bigger vulnerable parts to just end it quickly. So Thor has his own grief about not killing Thanos, and he switches to beer and humor trying to block out his grief. So that's why Thor is more of a tragic character than more than a comedic character. Even though he says comedic things throughout it, he does say some funny things, and you really don't feel sorry for him. I kind of feel sorry for him, but he's using humor to block out his things that he couldn't do. And yeah, and Korg's there playing Fortnite, the Meek. They don't mention Fortnite. It could have been anything else. It could have been Call of Duty, because this was recorded in 2017. Fortnite came in 2018. I'm just putting that out there. So for complaining about the Thor stuff, about fans complaining about it, there was this dumb meme I saw from a video last year about it's kind of like one of those simple Marvel memes, here's a Wheaton store. I don't know if I can find it again, but if I do find it, I'll just put it up. It's here's a Wheaton store. It was it was like Thor from Age of Ultron or something like that, laying down goofily. It was probably behind the scenes. It was probably not real. And then there's Taika Waititi's store with a clip from Thor Ragnarok at the end, how he has all the thunder, and then the Russo store with him holding Stormbreaker and doing all the lightning stuff. People are worshipping Thor now, in Infinity War, and saying that Russo Thor is the better Thor, which this is also a Russo Brothers movie, which means that Fat Thor is also Russo's Thor, and people are complaining about Thor is this dumb guy now, which he's not. He's just more tragic character, more character built, more baggage on him now. See, some of these dumb people just want to see Thor just be cool, which is cool, very cool to see do stuff. But I also want to see a character as well, not just him swinging a hammer and doing cool stuff. I want to see him go through a character arc as well. They're just so dumb and silly. It's pointless to complain about some directors saying that they're better than this one. Overall, it's actually Kevin Feige's store. Understand that? That's what I was talking about. The memes now. What now? Carry on. So Hawkeye's in Japan doing some cool ninja stuff. This is a very cool moment. Really, damn. I really want a Hawkeye series now. Cool ninja move and sword. Give me a sword. Makes him even cooler. I like swords. It's my forte. Swords is my thing. I gobble up. You can't gobble a sword, you'll kill yourself. But swords is the thing I love the most. So Natasha tries to convince Spartan to come back and don't give me hope. Because what if it fails? Who knows? What if it does fail? So now moving on to the time heist part. The way they use time travel in this one, in this version of time travel, it's very confusing, because what Hulk says, it says you're going forward, right? And then when you time travel back to the past, the present you becomes your past, and this becomes the current you. I think that's how I explained it. Because your future, the present becomes your past. It kind of does. And the past becomes your future. That is confusing. But I was thinking about what if we can rotate, but no. You would, if current you from the present travels back, it's a lot older. This current you that travels back is older than your past you. I think I'm trying to understand it a little bit more, but it's still kind of confusing. Also, it creates alternate timelines and dimensions, because in this movie, they kill past Nebula, and nothing happens to future Nebula. Time travel does work different in this universe, or it creates alternate timelines like in Dragon Ball Z. There's a lot of alternate timelines in that Cell Saga, in the Cell Saga storyline. There's a lot of alternate timelines happening, because it makes no sense in that one as well. So it just creates alternate timelines, which I can accept. Nothing has to be like, don't do this in the past or you're ruining your future. It's a lot different that they explain it. I kind of like it. It's different. Not so different from... I think this and Dragon Ball Z are the only one that does it. Back to the Future or any other movies, like, how do it a little different way. If you mess up something from the past, it'll alter the future. If you alter the past in this universe, nothing's gonna happen to your present. I think that's what it's trying to explain. And that's why we try to understand it more. So we can understand it just a little bit more. I like that Hawkeye was the one to test it out first. And Scott, he's an idiot sometimes. He's a lovable idiot, but he's a lovable idiot. He already used one of the pin particles, so can't do 2 test runs now. So it goes to the past. It works. So the years that Avengers need to time travel: Reality Stone / Ether, 2013, Power Stone and Soul Stone in 2014. It could be any year actually. The Soul Stone, Tesseract / Space Stone, Time Stone, time travel, and the Mind Stone / Loki Scepter in 2012. Also, they have to after when they get the stones, they have to return them back to the original timeline. So I'm gonna cover 2012 first. So they go back and we see them assembling for the first time, which is pretty exciting because I did not see that in theaters. Yeah, at that time I didn't have a laptop; it was broken. And because I'm a millennial and that's how I function, I need the internet to tell what time and date the movies are at. Without technology, I'm lost because I'm a millennial. Sad, isn't it? Here's one thing that does bother me. I was like, why does Hulk come with a shirt on when he know he didn't come with a shirt on? I know it's a little nitpicky, but what's the point of this? Well, anyways, he goes try and get the time stone from the ancient one, and Cat goes to get the scepter from the elevator. Cat goes to get the scepter, and the Hydra agents from the Winter Soldier secretly at this point. And Tony and Scott go to get the Tesseract. And this is very funny that Scott is just saluting, and this is very funny, which is, it's been pointed out everywhere. Scott calling Captain America's rear end America's ass. That's America's ass. Oh yeah, and Scott throughout this movie is very hilarious. Scott Lang character works with an ensemble cast. He would be better on his own if he had a better director. When he's working with the Russo brothers, he works better with the ensemble cast. They haven't done anything important with the character that would make him be better on his own. They haven't done anything to make him better on his own yet, even though he works with a partner now. We don't know what's gonna happen in Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp and something else. Ant-Girl. Named that for the third one because his daughter is now old enough to be a superhero herself. Yeah, I do think he works out better on simulcast and he makes better jokes. And he did better. He did a little bit better in his own movies with the jokes. But he works better with the Russo brothers for now, at least, unless he switches director during the third Ant-Man movie. So, as I said, Cap goes to get the scepter. And so when Cap is in that elevator again, I thought, are they really gonna do this again? Are they really gonna do this again? Are we gonna do the same fight over again? And what happened was even better. Hail Hydra. My crowd went wild. And then after that, Cap versus Cap. This part was so good. These moments were so good. Oh, it's like a video game. You can also compare Captain America versus Captain America, like a video game, how like, your friend will choose the same character, the one from 2012, having his helmet on, and our present Captain America has no helmet. It's like how we have it in a video game. It's just so cool. And so fun. Who knew you wanted this? Captain America versus Captain America. I also like how he just checks out his own self that is America's ass. When Tony and Scott trying to get the Tesseract, and they do get the Tesseract, but they also fail at getting the Tesseract because the Hulk is taking the stairs. I did not like that joke. I was they cut back to past Hulk saying, "I hate the stairs." I thought that was really useless. Like at the point Like, why are they going back to it? The reason why they kept on mentioning Hulk has to take the stairs because he hits future Tony and he loses the Tesseract to Loki and Loki escapes. This version of Loki. This could also shut off to an alternate timeline. So Cap, Tony, and Scott are discussing about what we're gonna do, what's happening. We have to get Loki and get the Tesseract back. And then Tony suggests there was a point in time where Hank Pym and Mr. Stark were in the same place, and that was in the 70s. So they could get a past Tesseract and pin particles. Meanwhile, Banner's trying to convince the Ancient One to give up the stone. He thought Doctor Strange would be there, but he's not. Also, she says 5 years, so that means she says Stephen Strange won't be the Sorcerer Supreme for 5 more years. Doctor Strange came out in 2006. This is in 2012. So I guess the movie Doctor Strange, the beginning of the movie, takes place during 2016, and then he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme in 2017. Hey, I guess it does take some time to learn magic. Although Banner does tell about the Ancient One, like, talk about Strange and how he gave up the stone, and she doesn't understand, like, why would he, like, maybe he made a mistake, or maybe she did. And I got confused, like, I thought she was not gonna give up the stone, but she says that Stephen Strange is supposed to be the best of all of us. She trusts Stephen Strange to know what to do, so she hands over the stone to him. So now, we go to the 70s. Stan Lee cameo as a young man now. The Tony meeting his father thing, it does remind me of Back to the Future a little bit. How Marty saw his father, George McFly. It was really touching. Like, there's a lot of touching moments in this. Cap does see Peggy Carter again while he's trying to get the pin particles. I want him to say something, but at the end, I know what happens. But I'm like glad that he got to see Peggy at that point. When I was watching the movie. Also, like that we get to see the Jarvis from the Agent Carter TV show in this movie. That was a little nice touch up. Now that I think about it, are those things canon? Like, it doesn't really matter to me. So back in 2013, Rocket has an idea to like get Thor to persuade Jane, and then he'll extract the ether. I'm like, how? He looks nothing like his past self. He has a giant beard. He looks like a gross hobo. I'm like, what? What are you doing? So look at him and like, who is this guy? He sounds like Thor. He's not. He doesn't look like Thor. He's fat too. He's like all the other Marvel fans are complaining about Thor. Yeah, there's a lot of complaining about Thor. I'm like, what? Thor sees his mother again, and he runs off and follows her. And then that means Rocket has to get the ether out of Jane Foster all by himself. Which he actually used old footage from Thor: The Dark World that was never used. The lead scene of Jane just getting up. I thought this was really pointless. The reason why I'm talking about it is pointless because I saw this in IMAX. I didn't even know it because they have to convert the aspect ratio, right? And this was this pointless thing to actually do. I didn't even know. I don't know if I noticed it. The aspect ratio changed or not because I was watching the movie. It probably did. When you convert a normal film to IMAX to change the aspect ratio, like, it's a lot more work to put in it. I was doing a lot of research about it, so I know that you have to do a lot more because I was also googling that movies that were converting to IMAX, which is they do it with Star Wars and they do it with Iron Man and the First Captain America. That was also released in last year. Completely flew over me. I didn't even know it. They were doing that. They were showing it in IMAX last year around August. So I just thought it was really useless. Like I don't really know. I did see an IMAX, and I don't really know that if the aspect ratio just changed or whatever. But he had to edit Rocket in. Natalie Portman doesn't like these movies, so they had to reuse some old footage. So I don't know if it just flew by so fast. I don't even know if the aspect ratio changed or not. It just boggles. This part just really boggles me. Because during normal, regular IMAX showing, because this is all in IMAX, the aspect ratio changes from scene to scene. I don't know if it actually changed, so that's what I'm talking about. When I saw, like, Captain Marvel IMAX, I know the aspect ratio was changing a lot, so, not like a lot, not like constantly, like, I like the Transformers movies, some important scenes that were longer, and they have like, the aspect ratio wide, and some scenes that didn't have the aspect. I noticed at that point for that movie, but not during this movie. It was just like, I don't know. So Thor was following his mom, and he meets her again, and then talks about what happened and what. And it was like a nice little mother thing. See, this is what I really like heartwarming about this. This was bittersweet to see Tony getting to meet his father again, and Thor getting to meet his mother again. It's just like really nice and heartwarming. It really is seeing. It was really nice seeing. I really like that stuff. It really is bittersweet, and it's very heartwarming to see stuff like that. She does give him some motivation to shape up again. Oh, minor thing. I just fixed my hair like this. I think it looks better like this. I'm getting my monitor, and it does look better. I don't know. I always have it in front of my head. Anyways, so Rocket finds Thor again, and he has the ether, and now they're gonna go back to the future. But first, Thor tries to see if he's worthy again, which he is. And I was like, what's the point of taking this back to the future? And then later, I know why. So, 2014. So, Barton and Nat go to get the Soul Stone, while Rhodey and Nebula wait for Star-Lord to come and lead them to the Power Stone. When Barton and Natasha are going to get the Soul Stone, I was like, oh, wait a minute. One of them is gonna die. And who could it be? Is it going to be Natasha? Is it going to be Barton? Something minor spoiler that happened to me before I saw this, because I was looking at the Hot Toys on good old Facebook. You always trust Facebook for no spoilers. I read none of the comments. It's just that it's just on the picture on the Hot Toys for Natasha, there was a lot of sad faces. At first, I thought she was going to go up to Thanos and try to fight him, and then she gets knocked out trying to get him with a gun, because that was the whole entire meme of like, why is Natasha practicing with a gun? I thought it would be more funny if she tried to fight Thanos with a gun. Again, trying to fight a giant godlike alien probably would work either way, even if he did have stones or didn't have stones. She will lose. Skin's probably bulletproof, probably, I don't know. So I guess I got my source from the Facebook, good old Facebook, with their sad tears. Just stop it with the I hate those emojis. I hate those Facebook sad emojis, or I only like the hearts ones. Everything else I just hate. The whole internet's garbage sometimes. But I did like how, also, talking about things that I do like, this movie, I like how Natasha and Barnett are having like, I know I wanna die, no, I wanna die. But the one who really died was Natasha. She sacrificed her soul for a soul. I'm surprised none of them knew who Red Skull was, actually. Because since they worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. and they probably knew what Hydra was. I thought they would knew. They couldn't get anyone else to do it, because it makes sense for them to do it, because you love your friend. Because to get the Soul Stone, you have to sacrifice someone you love. And since they're best friends, they love each other. You can do that with friends. So meanwhile, Nebula and Rhodey are waiting for Star-Lord. I really like Nebula in this movie. She's been developing a lot more since Guardians 2. In Guardians 1, she's just a generic villain. I'm also glad we got to see this version of Nebula. She was just a generic villain. She gets to play a generic villain once again. I also like Nebula and Rhodey together, actually. I know in the Captain Marvel storyline, Rhodey and Carol has a relationship, but what if they can just change it for the movies, for Nebula and Rhodey have a relationship? I would just think it would be better. Captain Marvel and Rhodey do have like a brief thing, like she said, like good luck. I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere. They could have done something different, like how what Natasha and the Hulk have a relationship in Age of Ultron. I like how when they're waiting for Star-Lord, we could see a different point of view of how like Star-Lord was dancing. You know how like when your friends looking at you and you're dancing, it's kind of like that. You kind of look ridiculous without the music playing. He's an idiot. So they get the Power Stone, and then so when they're trying to go back to the future, so Nebula gets intersected by the past Nebula because they're in the same frequency of each other, and then this Nebula gets captured by Thanos. Also, this Thanos was wearing the his armor, which was different from his armor in Guardians. I wonder if that's his house armor, like your house shoes, your house clothes, like that. I have a house sweater. So this is my theory of why he has different armors. The armor that we see in Guardians is his house armor. The armor that we see in this movie is his battle armor. His outside armor goes to change for the outside. It's just different armor. See? I have house clothes. He has house armor. He's just relatable. So they capture this Nebula and look through her memories. I'm surprised when he didn't flinch when he saw his own head got cut off. I mean, I would, but Thanos is like a different kind of character. Doesn't like he accepts destiny, whatever. If this was meant to be, it was meant to be. I am inevitable. So he looks through almost all of Nebula's memories, finds out what they're doing, and so past Nebula takes off the new parts that future Nebula has, and gives Thanos the pin particles. Hello, something happened to my audio. It's either I didn't plug it in right, or I messed with it, because when I was looking at this audio setting, something was wrong with it, and it was just not there, like, at all. It was there, it was very, like, quiet, because this happened before, like, when I was starting with doing this kind of stuff with the microphone, and it's just very unfortunate that the audio was tampered with or didn't go through right. Or also, I recorded this at night at all the time. I'm also recording it now at night, and I didn't catch it in time. Obviously, my hair is also very shorter now. I recorded this months ago, and I guess this happens to sometimes to people. Like, it did happen to, like, Jane Nicholson a little while ago. Her Endgame review. I'm not trying to copy anyone. This actually did happen. It's all gone now. Or not there at all. As I said, very quiet. If I would make it louder, it would be very staticky. So I tried making it louder, but it's very staticky. It would not work well, and you would not be, and it would not be good at all. So I guess I'm just gonna go through a rundown. Like, I was very passionate about it when I was talking about it earlier. Like, when I first did it, I was very passionate about talking about the third act. Now that it's gone, I'm just gonna do a quick rundown of things. I might be passionate about it still, but like, just a speed through of it. Since Natasha's dead, I was say Banner, but Hawkeye was the one to tell everyone, and everyone's mad. Next is like the Hulk snaps everyone back. Snap everyone back. Hawkeye gets to see his family again, or gets a call from his wife. Next is 2014 Nebula gets the 2014 Thanos and Gamora to the present. Next is a three-way fight between Thanos, well, not a more like a four-way fight, between like the big three and Thanos. Well, this fight is very exciting, and you can see Captain America catch the hammer, the best part of the fight, and it's also a very intense fight too. Well, it's like the final fight. You don't know who's going to live, who's going to die. Yeah, and Captain America does crazy combos, which is very exciting. I was more enthusiastic in the original one, but I'm like, when I was first talking about it, it was very exciting to me. But like, yeah, I'm trying to speed through it because like also Cap shields break as well, and after that you hear Sam like on your left, Cap, and then everyone assembles. Everyone goes through the portals, which is also still very exciting, and everyone poses like Power Rangers. Everyone has their shining moment in this big epic battle. Let's go through it. I consider Hawkeye and Black Panther have a moment because it's a reverse of Civil War. Because he remembers his thing when he said he didn't care. Scarlet Witch has her moment when she beats up Thanos, and after that, Captain Marvel has a big moment when she destroyed that big ship. And then the Wasp has her like little moment because like Wasp saying, "Gotcha, Cap," or whatever. Because since in the last Ant-Man movie, she didn't believe Scott was friends with Captain America. And then the A-Force female Avengers team up, which this cuts to the Power Ranger thing I was gonna say, or no, Super Sentai thing. It's definitely Power Rangers still, but it's Go On there, the RPM adaptation. There was a little bit of episode in Go On there with all the boys were like turned to stone or whatever, and it was all the girls still to today. So when the A-Force movie, or female Avengers movie, or whatever you want to call it in the future, will have all the females, obviously, and all the boys will get turned to stone. That's the plot of the movie. If you want to look up that episode, I will leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. Or I'll put the number title of the episode of Go Under it. And it said I Go Under. And like they were trying to throw the gauntlet, obviously in the movie, they were trying to throw the gauntlet into the time portal van thingy. And also that didn't make any sense because the goal was to like set the stones, their each individual time where they came from. You were just gonna chuck it in. I didn't like that idea. I know it was a plan to like not get Thanos to have the gauntlet, but I just didn't like it. I also do like that Captain Marvel and Thanos have a go at it for a little bit. Yeah, she could have like beat him up too as well. She is basically like Dark Superman in this universe. Like that, he had to like use the Power Stone to actually like damage her a little bit. But then Tony gets and Tony goes for Thanos, and then takes all the stones, and then here he goes, I am Iron Man, and defeats Thanos' army, and and also that damaged him and destroyed his mind and brain, and he died, which is sad. And there are plenty of people like complaining about his death, like that was during the big week of the event of Endgame coming out. People were like upset. Why kill him? Because he's old. He's 50 years old, even though he's the main character of MCU. It's just ridiculous. Oh yeah, and they finally say assemble. I don't know why you could have said that earlier. So they give a funeral for Tony, and everyone going back to their stuff, and everyone goes back to their own places, and everyone's life go back to normal. Even though some of them don't have their loved ones, some do. Happy that Hawkeye has his family back. Like, we knew everyone was gonna return, but I guess, well, because of the last one, everyone got sad. Everyone was going to come back anyway. I don't know why some people were, like, thinking that they're not gonna come back at all. It's just ridiculous. Like, why would you, like, let everyone die? All these fan theories about, like, all these other movies are going to be prequels. Well, one movie is. I do like Captain America going back in time to return all the stones, and there's callback to the first Captain America, but Bucky and Cap, and I really do like that Cap just goes to the 40s and lives with Peggy, which is the best part of the movie for me. There's all the lightning and the shield throwing and the crazy combos and other things. With the Captain America and Peggy stuff is the better part, just for me. I just like that part of the movie, of the original Captain America, like the relationship. I really did like that part of that movie, and so I was glad to see that he finally had his happy ending. He finally had to have it. I was glad to see that Captain had his, or Steve now, finally had his happy ending. And there was like, also there was no end credits for the movie, just like thinking of something. 3 things. So Iron Man like building the iron suit in the cave from the first movie. Yeah, but yeah, overall, like, loss of it was very sad and unfortunate. It was almost over 2 hours, but since I'm summing it up right now, it's probably less than how many minutes I recorded for that. No, the extra part of it was like, I don't know why. I just like talking about things, like, especially like things like this, I like talking about, and it's very unfortunate that this happened, and my enthusiasm on that part of it is gone as well. I was right here, I was very mellow, and like sad, even though like everything else was like very exciting. Avengers Assemble! That kind of. I was like that a little bit. I guess Thor's gonna be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And, well, I think people are saying that other Gamora's alive. I don't think so. I think I think when Tony snapped his fingers to Thanos, I think he just wiped out all his army on whoever came from 2014. That's how I think it works. But, yeah. But overall, this is a nice closing chapter of the last 11 years of Marvel movies. And now there's an open up floodgates of 2 new ones. Well, it's not gonna end. I thought that this movie was going to be less than Infinity War, but if you title the movie Endgame, they will go racing to the theater, filling up the whole entire theater, even sitting in the front row, and no one sits in the front row. This was ridiculous, like, the way it was. I guess people thought it was actually the end, which is not. There's a whole other slate of movies coming out. I thought the general audience was not going to go see it. I think this is probably more like normal movie structure. Like it has a middle story which is relaxing and it gets higher during the second act and then get even higher during the third act. Like what in Infinity War was like a third act with each structure. Like it's like that, but like there's like the overall Thanos story that was part of it. I guess that's the only plot to it. But it was like more like a third act all the way through. But this is what Endgame is more like a normal movie basic, which I think that's a movie should be like. I still like both of them, but like I don't know why some people say Infinity War is better still, but like I would say this one's much better because it felt like a natural movie, and it also didn't feel like 3 hours at all, which is good. But overall, like this movie is better than Infinity War for me, so it's a 9.5 out of 10. This was the movie of the year until someone else comes along. So, what do you think of Endgame? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you know it was fine? So please, you can comment down below, give me a like and a and subscribe for more. I do that for one, and see you later, moviegoers. Yeah, for the original end gag I do, I stick this logo because I didn't have the tin can for Endgame. I sticked it on this Rogue One tin can because it was sold out. Those things are $100 to go find on eBay. It's ridiculous how it was a $20 thing you can buy at Regal or AMC, and it's being sold for like $100 on eBay. So I just made my own with this Rogue One tin can.